reality to be focused on me. I'm on TV. I am a Vidiot.
You know, while I have you, why don't you do me a solid and tickle that subscribe button? You're watching Vidiot on Demand, obviously. I'm your host, Philip Williams, because no one else had the balls. Raise your hand if you're a fan of Die Hard. Oh, okay, cool, all right, looking good. Then you would know how the movie was groundbreaking at elevating the action movie genre. Instead of the unstoppable one-man army protagonist that looks like a condom stuffed full of walnuts, we have a vulnerable everyman played by Bruce Willis at the peak of his charisma and charm, which is way better casting than what the filmmakers were actually obligated to offer to old Blue Eyes himself, Frank Sinatra. That's the whole story for another video. Anyway, the reason I bring up Die Hard at all is because in any behind-the-scenes retrospective, when speaking about how they found their leading man, they inevitably talk about the very show that put him in the spotlight in the first place. Moonlighting. Prior to this, I only know two things about this show. One, it's the birthplace of Bruno's star power, and two, the show stopped being good when the will they, won't they finally did. In fact, I never really thought of this show outside of those two factoids until I stumbled across a video by Joe Blow. And I gotta admit, it was really good. Go watch that video for a lot more detail on the show. Or actually, pause it, go, come back, because it was very informative. I learned that this show was way more than I ever originally anticipated, and it was right up my alley. So I gave it a shot. First of all, it was a detective show. What? I didn't even know that. Second of all, it was also a starring vehicle for Sybil Shepherd, who at the time was a model and began doing some acting and was a huge star. Best part is, the character she plays in Moonlighting is a thinly veiled take on her public persona. That in itself is an interesting layer of meta context that hung over the show and opened it up to more riffs on Plato's Cave. You'll have to look it up. In the beginning, the show was all about Maddie Hayes, a rich model and socialite who, through no fault of her own, gets all her money stolen by a crooked accountant. Destitute, she turns to her lawyer, who advises her to liquidate her assets and maybe even have a go at a new career. She discovers that she owns Blue Moon Detective Agency that was just hemorrhaging money, and the guy in charge is David Addison, played to perfection by Bruce Willis. I don't know about you, but me being a baby in the 80s is probably the reason why this show feels so cozy to me. I legit have vivid memories of the images that are from the opening title sequence that for years I had no idea where they came from or that they were in this show. Who can forget the old-timey doorman guy or the most 80s looking babe that no doubt made me blush as a 2-year-old? If you give this show a chance, I'm sure you'll find out that this holds up. The action elements are inventive and pretty exciting on a TV budget. The comedy is wonderful throwback to the romantic comedies of the golden age of Hollywood. Fast-paced, witty dialogue that, written down, would be the length of a phone book of the entire tri-state area. Not to mention playful banter between the two leads. If they didn't look like they wanted to kiss each other, they wanted to strangle each other. That chemistry was hot, and you can tell by all the doors. So viewers kept on coming back to see this volatile relationship progress. And like with all pop culture phenomena, the ever-growing audience began to speculate on the real-life personal lives of the co-stars, further blurring the line between fact and fiction. At this point, the mystery plot aspects of the show basically became fun set dressing, while the focus remained on the conflict and romance of Maddie and David. So, I assume the writers thought, why not poke fun at reality itself? Some episodes start with the characters talking directly to viewers, addressing things like their Emmy chances, or the nature of the episode they're about to watch, or whether or not they were finally gonna kiss. There are episodes in which a character simply exclaims, "Hey, you can't do that," and then Bruce Willis comes back with, "Yeah, well, take it up with the writers." This show went from being another detective show with hot leads in it into being something completely different. 80s Deadpool. I hope that by now I've adequately illustrated the aspects of the show that really appeal to my sensibilities, because, surprise, It's now my Christmas episode. Who knew? You didn't see that one coming. It's a Christmas miracle. Let's go. Like most shows, they do make an effort to celebrate the Yuletide season of giving. Like with the episode entitled It's a Wonderful Job, where they obviously do a riff on the Frank Capra classic, albeit with a Dickensian twist. No, not Oliver Twist, the Christmas one, obviously. Yeah, sure, we'll see what the world is like without you in it, and while we're at it, let's check out the past, present, and future. After all, we're dealing with spirits here. I have to admit, on occasion, I've probably, as a kid, blended the two stories together until I finally saw Mickey's Christmas Carol, which really solidified and set the story in stone for me. That one is alright, but the Christmas special that I feel is worth recommending for this year's Christmas recommendation is... Little drummer boy, take it away. Great. Thank you. That's enough. It's 'Twas the Episode Before Christmas. Yay! Yeah? Pretty good. Have you ever been watching Die Hard on Christmas and then thought to yourself, man, this is a great film, it kicks ass, but if only they had at least one allusion to the birth of Jesus Christ and I'd be set. And guess what? I've got the solution for you. This episode of Moonlighting does that, and it's kind of cute. And if you're like a bit salty on religion, don't worry about it. It's just kind of a joke. It's a cute reference, but it is there nonetheless, and it is very fun.
Wow.
All King.
Jim King.
And your name again?
Reuben King.
3 kings.
That's right.
2 aces, you win. You're Mr. Kingpin.
Mr. King.
I'd like you to meet Mary.
Hello. Hello. Forgive the way I look, but I haven't been able to change or bathe or anything for several days. I've been on the run with no place to stay. I've been trying to find a hotel room, but it's Christmas. And, well, there are no rooms in any of the inns.
You hear that? No room at the inns.
So?
So, a woman named Mary, a baby, 3 kings. Confidentially, I'm worried.
About what?
Maddie, I think we're trapped in an allegory.
A what?
I'm telling you, we got everything in a story except a camel.
Anybody care for smoke?
There are moments where you just take in the atmosphere, like this moment, for example, where they just cuddle a baby around a Christmas tree and everything just seems kind of cozy.
I hope you don't mind my plugging it in. It's getting dark.
He's beautiful, isn't he?
Christmas and children. They make up for a lot of the bad stuff.
They sure do.
Spoilers for an episode of television that came out 40 years ago, but the ending of the episode is equal parts hilarious and actually quite heartwarming because they simply break the fourth wall.
You think this could be the Christmas episode?
You know, it just might be.
Nah, couldn't be the Christmas episode. There's no snow.
Sure. Call them again. You go through and turn them over. If they find a final.
We're just having fun. We're making a show. And in fact, let's get every person who works on the show, writers and crew members and actors and extras and all of their families being invited to just stand in a studio and let's just sing a Christmas carol together. And let's make it snow indoors for no reason. And let's all just cuddle up and kiss under the mistletoe and just have a wonderful, beautiful moment that feels incredibly real and genuine. And if there's one thing that I love about Christmas is when you can get sincere and just show how much you care. I gotta say, this probably goes down in history as one of the best Christmas specials I've ever seen for a television show. It just gets you there. Coincidentally, this show is finally on streaming. After years of not being able to be anywhere except for YouTube where I originally saw it. Finally, you guys have a chance to check out the show that I fell in love with literally just last year. So if you do have access to Hulu or what have you, if it is available for you to check out, then consider this my Christmas present to you. So, I'm Philip Williams, and I hope you remember me when you become rich and famous. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
Merry